VRCover are a company who specifically offer VR headset accessories, and this is their PSVR2 cover and strap. They have sent this to me for review, but this is not a sponsored video. They do not get copy approval on this video, and they will see it for the first time right alongside you. So, without further ado, let's see what this accessory is all about, and review it. At €29, the cover seems well priced from a hands-off perspective. Upon receipt, it is nicely packaged with a rather premium box, and inside is no different. The top layer is the two halves of the cover, and the bottom layer, around this cardboard spacer, is the additional head strap. Also included in a lovely bit of presentation is a cute little envelope with the installation and care instructions inside. There is also a video of the installation available on the product page on VRCover's website if you prefer. First impressions are decent. The cover is marketed as a more comfortable and sweat-absorbent option, spreading the weight along with being washable and reusable. The material is cotton, feels high quality, and is soft to the touch. Pretty much what you'd expect from a premium sports sweatband comparison. The head strap, however, is a little more disappointing to me on first feel. It is a soft, elasticated strap with Velcro fastenings. It's the same sort of thing that you can find on the end of the aisle in Asda for £1 or £2, which immediately makes me question both its usefulness and its longevity. I have, however, been nicely surprised in the past by these sort of things, so I will reserve definitive judgment until the end. So the next step is to apply the cover and strap. And thanks to some good design, this is fairly easy. I'd suggest starting with the covers first, and it doesn't particularly matter if it's the front or back that you start with. Separate the Velcro sections, and then the shape should make it easy to understand how the cover goes onto the device. If it doesn't, as mentioned earlier, you do have written and video instructions to help. Because the cover is attached via Velcro, it makes it easy to swap or remove. Simply reverse the process and the cover is now off the PSVR2. This is great for cleaning both the headset and the cover, especially after a particularly vigorous physical session. This is great from a hygiene perspective too, especially if you have multiple users of the headset. You can have one of these covers each and simply swap them on and off when required, cleaning the covers as outlined in the instructions between uses. It essentially means you're never going to be playing in a pre-used and wet VR headset again. The additional head strap is also easy to add, remove, and clean. I prefer adding it after the covers, as once both sides are on, there is a perfect gap left for the placement of the head strap. But is all of this worth it? From a hygiene perspective, 100%. I've said it before, but using a shared VR headset, like I do with my partner, you have to be cleanly and hygienic so as not to irritate one another or yourself and not pass on any possible infection. Simply being able to remove the sweat-affected areas and wash them is a huge step up over the base product, despite how easy to clean that is. But these claim better comfort and grip as well as the hygiene. So is that true? Sometimes. I actually found it more cumbersome and uncomfortable when I first put on the headset with the cover and strap attached. The cover wraps tightly around the halo adjuster at the back of the headset, and when this is on your head, it makes fine adjustment via this mechanism, you know, the only way to adjust the tightness of the headset, needlessly difficult. This could be easily solved by making this opening circumference 5mm bigger, or starting the Velcro fastening 3 to 5mm further out from the adjustment dial. That feels like basic design requirements to me when it comes to accessories. They need to fit the item they are made for properly and not impact its usage in a negative way. Imagine a phone case where the case's buttons do not align with the ones actually on the phone. It's not going to do its job effectively at any point, and the back of this cover feels like that. The front is a much tighter fit on the headset than the back, and it sits nicely on the forehead hairline as it should. The head strap is easily adjusted while in the headset to allow it to sit snug on the top of your head. The head strap, though, does make putting the headset on more of a challenge than without it. The first time isn't really a challenge as the strap is rigid at this point and it sits upright, allowing you to easily put the headset on. But every use thereafter there is a flappy bit of elastic that gets in the way when trying to put on the PSVR2. It's annoying more than anything else, and only on one occasion has it actually got in the way, to the point of having to take the headset off and start again. Keep in mind, however, that this is a negative experience only happening because of this strap and cover being connected to the headset, as I have never had fitting challenges previously. Because this strap is flapping about like a mindless bird when putting the headset on, you have to take additional time before starting to play to then rearrange the strap to be in its proper place and tightness, again creating a situation that isn't present when this accessory isn't applied. Once on though, is it a different story? I immediately noticed the head strap on my head whilst wearing the PSVR2 with the cover attached. This isn't a bad thing. I notice the headset itself every time I play, but I didn't notice the cover. Nothing felt different initially, and this is a huge positive as it doesn't change or impact my in-game VR experience. But it can be a negative as well when they claim to offer better comfort. But comfort is a many-shaped thing. It's not just when you put the headset on. Over 5 sessions of varying length and intensity over the course of the next 3 or 4 days, I put the cover through its paces and was actually very impressed. I will say though, that through every single session, I noticed no discernible change in comfort on the head or face. But I did notice that my sessions were longer. Even when I cranked Beat Saber up to Extreme Plus, a level of challenge I've only managed to complete 1 level at so far, and usually gets my heart rate up and sweat flowing, my sessions were longer. Now it's not a fitness thing. I didn't suddenly get that much fitter in 4 days just by using this cover. It was only when I jumped over to Pistol Whip immediately after that session that I realised what was going on. My face was dry. Now, this aspect of VR isn't the most glamorous to talk about, but it is the reality of the hobby. When you play VR titles that are standing or room scale, the likelihood of sweating is quite high. Your head and face are in a confined mask, and then you're moving about, cutting blocks, dodging bullets, taking cover, etc. The physical activity in a confined space produces sweat, and my session would often end when sweat was either dripping out of the bottom of the mask or when some went in my eye, which stings terribly. But that didn't happen when using VR Cover's head strap cover set. Not once did I feel sweat running down my face, because the cover was absorbing it. Another thing I noticed was a lack of readjustment of the headset in game time. I personally fully get into my VR titles, and I often punch or knock the headset when playing. When I do this without the cover, every 30 minutes or so I will have to readjust the headset just to put it back in its correct spot in front of my eyes. This was minimised with the head strap. It holds the headset up far longer. While I do still have to readjust it on occasion, it is far less than I had to previously, meaning my game sessions are more full of gaming again. More time actually playing the games in elongated sessions. That's just an exponential increase in game experiences and a huge positive for this cover set. But once that game time is done, if you're sensible, you need to clean the cover. So how does that go? Annoying is the answer. Here once more are the care instructions of this cover. Down the bottom left-hand side of this piece of paper, you will see the cleaning instructions, and we'll see that it says hand wash with cold water.
Alright, face on camera for this one. For the past 100 years, we've had devices like this. This is a washing machine. This is designed for you to put your clothing and fabric items in so that it washes them for you. These have been around for a long time at this point. To be making items of clothing, fabric items, items that are meant to take sweat from you so that it's not on you or your device, and not have them able to be put into something like this, which, if you look here, has a delicate wash cycle. It just beggars belief, and I have to ask at this point, if you are the manufacturer of items of clothing or fabric accessories that need to be washed, Why are you not designing them for these things? What is wrong with you?
No matter how thorough you are, hand washing is never as good as machine washing. The machine can do it much more thoroughly with less water, soap, and effort. This cover is on your face and head when playing VR titles, catching all of the sweat from those locations. A machine wash would make so much more sense here, even if it stipulated a delicate cycle. As it is, you have to hand wash it, and hand washing the item is painful. To try and scrub it properly, you want to run fabric against fabric. But there are mass amounts of Velcro on the cover, meaning you either aren't washing it properly by keeping the Velcro secured while washing, or if you do wash it properly, you are catching and pulling the fabric constantly with the Velcro. The cover does, however, dry well and quickly, so it is ready to be used once more, pretty sharpish. So what are my final thoughts? Bear in mind, these thoughts are all based on my personal experience with this review unit. And I have very mixed feelings about this cover set and head strap. I actually love using them. When they are on the device and I am in-game, they're great. I can play for longer, I am more comfortable because I'm not covered in sweat, and I'm not readjusting the headset anywhere near as much. But outside of game time, this accessory kind of makes my VR life harder. To gain those in-game bonuses, I need to wash this cover after nearly every use. Only stationary titles like Paper Beasts and Moss allow me to use it multiple times in a row. This means I need to add and remove the cover nearly every time that I use the headset, and wash it in between game sessions. Because this is a hand wash only item, I need to factor that washing time into my free time, diminishing my available game time. Once I do get to play, the strap and cover do make putting the headset on more difficult than without it. But it is a nicer session in the headset when they're on. All up, I think I will continue to use the cover and strap. I'll probably use the strap more than the cover, simply from an ease of use and cleaning perspective. The cover has incredible situational use cases, and as I do use the VR to boost my personal fitness, it will be used in those fitness gaming scenarios. Is this something that I can easily and readily recommend for all PlayStation VR2 users? Not for everyone, no. But I have seen through the comments on my videos in the past that this accessory will have wide appeal and fix many users' complaints with the headset. Let's not forget that each human is brilliantly individual, which also means differently shaped. My head fits the PSVR2 perfectly, but some people don't have the same fortune I do with the ergonomics of this headset. In a scenario where a user has that challenge, I am supremely confident recommending VR Cover's PSVR2 head strap cover set. In a scenario where players tell me that they haven't touched the headset in months due to the warm weather, I am supremely confident in recommending VR Cover's PSVR2 head strap cover set so that they can get more year-round game time. In a scenario where a user has a flawless experience already though, and they are looking for accessories to accentuate their game time, in a similar situation to myself, I can offer them a mixed review and allow them to draw their own conclusions on it if it will be appropriate as an accessory for themselves. And if they do come to that conclusion, they, yourself, and all other viewers can find a link to the head strap cover set in the video description below. I'd like to thank VR Cover for supplying this review unit. Once again, this is not a sponsored video. VR Cover do not get copy approval on this video, and they will see it for the first time right alongside you. In the meantime, if you have enjoyed this content, please feel free to check out this video looking at the upcoming PlayStation Portal and how you can make and use one already before it launches. And until next time folks, thank you for tuning in, have yourselves a fantastic day, and take care.